Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I want to talk about my pregnancy journey with all three of my pregnancies because they were also different. So I just want to take you through the period, just how did I find out, when did I find out, my reaction, the journey during the pregnancy period, and the changes that I and my body went through. So I've been pregnant 3 times. I've got 3 kids. The first time I was pregnant was in 2015. 2015, and we found out we got pregnant actually 2 weeks after we got married, right? I thank the Lord. But yeah, we got pregnant 2 weeks after we got married, and so we weren't consciously trying. We weren't like trying to get pregnant, but we also weren't trying not to get pregnant. And I think it's because this is the conversation that my husband and I had prior to us getting married when we were, but we never really went through that. Like my husband and I just had like a friend conversation as to what he wanted and what I wanted and what was the expectation from each other. And so during those conversations, we had discussed the family, and I think both of us we were on the same sasimqondweni nje ofanayo ukuthi we wanted a big family. We knew we wanted kids immediately after we got married. So yeah, 2 weeks after we got married, we found out we were pregnant. And so what had happened was, obviously we got married, and then what happens in black culture, or what happened in my case, because I don't want to stereotype as if to say everybody's expected to do that, but after shadile, I went to my in-laws family to ekhaya enzini yokotiza. So I was there in Kotiza for like a week. Obviously my husband was also there, and then there's really not much to do except yakotiza, and you're in the bedroom, yakotiza in the bedroom. And also, guys, I was 29. I had been waiting all 29 years. So yeah, and then we came back after we came back to Durban. I was still on leave. So yeah, after 2 weeks, like I knew something was different with my body, and my body felt different. I couldn't explain it, but I knew something had changed. And the only obvious thing for me was that I'm pregnant. Like that was the first thing that came to mind. Ngahamba ngayothenga i-pregnancy kit, like those El Cheapo ones, lawa kunikeza ama-lines. So the ones that give you 1 line if you're not pregnant, and then 2 lines if you are pregnant. So those are available in every pharmacy. So I bought that kit, and because angithi kuyona kuma instructions, it's advisable to take their pregnancy test in the morning. But like I didn't sleep, and then I took the test like at like 4 o'clock ish. And the line was faint. The line was faint, but it was there. The second line was faint, but it was there. So I wasn't too sure. So I googled and I read up, and it said no. So long as there's a second line, no matter faint, but so long as it's there, then it means you're pregnant. Oh, by the way, I'm shooting in my bedroom because my kids won't let me be great in the lounge. So I really wanted to shoot this video today. So yeah, I came to my bedroom. So yeah, um, but to be certain, I bought a kit yawa clear blue, because Leo it's very precise. It actually writes there pregnant, and it even tells you how far along you are. So then I bought that kit the next day, and then the day after, then I took it in the morning, and of course it confirmed that I was pregnant. It wrote that pregnant, and it wrote 2 to 3 weeks, right? 2 to 3 weeks, because I think it only goes up to 3 weeks plus. Was it 6 weeks? I'm not sure actually. I can't remember. That's how long it's been since I was last pregnant. Yay. So yeah, I bought that kit, and it said 2 weeks plus. I was ecstatic. I was crying. I was because I one thing that I knew about me, one thing that was always certain in my mind was that I want to be a mother. Was that I like motherhood is my calling. Even before I had kids, I just knew that. I just knew which I wanted to have kids. And so, yeah, then kwakuzoba, was it going to be? Yes, kwakuzoba Father's Day soon after I found out. So I thought, hey, what better way to surprise or to tell my husband? So that Sunday, Father's Day, that Sunday, Father's Day, as I was bringing him a breakfast, I bought him a Father's Day card. Ngayifaka a pregnancy kit. It lasts up to 24 hours. They are clear blue, like, so the results are there for 24 hours, if not longer. So ngayifaka in the card, brought him breakfast, and my brother was staying with us at the time, my youngest brother. So I gave him my phone because I wanted to record my husband's reaction. So my brother recorded that, and yeah, my husband's reaction was classic, was priceless. A little video is somewhere. Hopefully I'll find it. But he was ecstatic. I can't remember whether I can eat any breakfast. But the funny thing with Abantu besilisa, the moment they found out that you're pregnant, it's like, are you okay? All right. Like, yes, you're right. It's still me. I'm not sick. I'm just carrying a baby. So yeah. And with my first pregnancy, man, it was smooth sailing. I enjoyed it so much because it was just a completely new experience. So I didn't know what to expect. But I read up a lot, which is good and bad. Because then you read about things that you shouldn't really be consuming as a pregnant woman. But also it helped me prepare as to what's to come, as to the changes that my body was going through. But the exciting part was just like how the baby was growing, how with each passing day, week, month, trimester. So I enjoyed that. What I did not enjoy was the mood swings. And they caught me by surprise. They caught me by surprise. I mean, yeah, I like everybody knows a pregnant woman is moody, but shush. And it wasn't even moody. I was just highly emotional. I was just too emotional. I was crying over the smallest things. So mina vele ngiyadedema nje uma ngonakele lutho mina nje ngiyadedema. So you can just imagine how bad it was when I was pregnant. And the one incident I remember, because as I said, we were staying with my youngest brother. So him and my husband were like teasing me. Like we used to always tease each other, but something minor. Like I can't even remember what it was. And then I just flooding to my eyes. And then I just dashed to my bedroom crying. And then they were like, and then Kozagalan. So I think that's when it hit them as well. I know, man, this is ukhulelwe. So you're gonna have to tread carefully. But other than that, nothing major changed. So I didn't have morning sickness. Actually, with all three of my pregnancies, something that I'm very grateful for, because of the horror stories. Not even horror stories, but just what some women have to go through during the pregnancy with the morning sickness, the nausea, just not being able to stomach down food. Some women go through weight loss. I gained weight, which is obviously to be expected. I gained about 13 kgs. But I mean, with my first baby, that was the best shape. I was in the best shape of my life. I was about 53 kgs when I just before I fell pregnant, because I was exercising, I was eating healthy, I was eating clean, I was running a good 10K every day. So yeah. So the weight gain, I don't know, it didn't bother me during pregnancy. It honestly did not bother me, because I continued exercising until I was like 4 months. Until I started feeling the baby. Because until you know you're pregnant, but until you start feeling the baby, it doesn't register in your head. You're thinking, hey, am I really pregnant? Like, there's no confirmation because you're not feeling the baby. There's no stomach. Because with your first pregnancy, like, it took forever. I think people only started noticing that I was pregnant at like 5 months. And I was just like, with your first pregnancy, you're so excited. You want people to ask you, well, is that a pap? Is what? But nobody was asking me anything. It's just like, hello, can you see me? Can you see me? So yeah, they like I continued exercising until like four months. Nakhona futhi I think ngongivela phela nje. So the trimester that I enjoyed the most was definitely the second trimester. Although there was nothing really bad with the first trimester, but it was just the fatigue. It's the fatigue for me. It was the fatigue, and I didn't have nausea. The one thing I had, or the one thing that I have throughout all my pregnancies, is this taste in my mouth. Metal, you know metal. Yes, so whenever I'm pregnant, I have that constant metal taste in my mouth. The 9 months, the whole 9 months, like I eat food, but it's just like other than that, ngisuke right angibe nalutho. Oh, I didn't like fish with my first pregnancy. Fish ngangawuthandi, ngangiyanyiswa wona, and I used to love fish. I love fish, so that's the one thing I did not eat. But funnily enough, like the moment I popped the baby out, the first meal that I asked for was a fish. So it just goes to show I'm a hormones, pregnancy hormones. So yeah, that's about it with my first pregnancy. Really, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously with the first pregnancy uyatatazela, so you book an appointment with the GP ASAP. So we went there within the first month. Well, confirm, gave us a due date, and then thereafter go there monthly. So we, for the pregnancy 1 and pregnancy 2, we used the same lady, a lovely lady, Assistant Augustine's, Dr. Patha. So yeah, her bedside manner, man. It's so yeah, there was really, I enjoyed my first pregnancy. The body change, I loved it. I didn't really have to buy a new wardrobe, although I did in anticipation that I would need it. But I ended up not using those clothes, and which were not a lot of clothes. I just bought a few pregnancy clothes, but I ended up not using them because I mean it just look so cute, especially in tight clothes with isisu sakho. And at most, what I did was that I just sized up. So I was a size 28, 30. So I was buying with 32, but I wore them like towards the end of my pregnancy, like the last month. So yeah, I enjoyed everything about my first pregnancy until I went into labor. But yeah, that, as I said, that's a different video altogether. With baby number 2, oh yeah, with ulelo uChulumanco, we found out at like 20 weeks that we're having a girl. My husband didn't want to find out, but he wanted it to be a surprise, and I'm like, surprise ganjani, because it can only either be a girl or a boy. There's no like surprise that. So my thing was that I'm not gonna walk around with this belly ngingazi ukuthi ngihamba nobani, umfana noma intombazane, kumele ngiyidlalise lengane. And I'm just like, no, if you don't want to find out, don't find out, but mina I do. So like, no, let's not find out. And my husband always comes with me to my appointment. He always. So I was trying to like so that ngizothola. And I did, man. I think I did. The anatomy scan, I think it's between 18 and 20 weeks, where the doctor just checks the anatomy of the baby. Okay, right, is everything well with the baby? So I think I didn't tell him about that scan. I don't know how, but and that's when Baililo closed the door. Thank you. Close the door. Thank you. Close the door. Thank you. So yeah, at 20 weeks, that's when I found out Uguba, it's a girl. Yay! I was, I was, no guys, I was convinced it's a boy. I was convinced that my first child would be a boy. We had names. So my husband and I had names. We had names even before we were pregnant. That's how much we wanted to have kids. So we had Ukulumango if it was a girl, and then we had Uspamo if it was a boy. Although Ukulumango is a unisex name. But I was using Uspamo, like, Isiqhamo sikamama. And then the doctor's like, sister girl, it's a girl. Then I'm just like, but the thing is, I couldn't tell my husband because we had an agreement. Uguti, we're not gonna find out the sex of the baby. So I'm just like, and I mean that just lasted for a day or two. After that, I was just happy to have a healthy pregnancy. And so yeah, that was my pregnancy journey with baby number one. And I I told you guys earlier about the anatomy scan. So with these scans, you actually pay cash. As much as on a medical aid, you pay cash, and then obviously you can always claim back from your medical aid to back reimburse because they get somebody else to do it, not your gynae losuham. Well, at least in my case, it was another doctor or another lady that came in to do those scans. And speaking of scans, I have a few scans here for my pregnancy, and I loved this baby scan album. Baby scan album, can you see them? There you go. So I've got 3, but I could only find 2 ngoba ngishuta le video scan. So I had 1 for each baby. Thank you, St. Augustine's Hospital. Lesi scan 2019. So this would be uhlumhlum. This is definitely Ahluma. I could never see what's happening. I could never see what's going on scans, but I have them. This is a 2017. This is Ukumkan Kam. So this one is better because we are born a lying gun. Like you can see the baby, you can see the head, you can see the baby. And it tells you how far along you the expected due date. I don't think it tells you the gender. It tells you the baby's length, huh? Length. No size, we can't. Yeah, so it got list that I just showed you. This is Okala business ka Ahluma. Can't find Lilo's one. It's probably in the other album. So yeah, pregnancy number 2. So these I got them. I keep them. My kids look at them every so often. They love. It's cute. So yeah, I would say, if udokotela wakhe engakwenzeli, just perhaps just go to a doctor owenzayo just once so that you can have this as a keepsake. It's just very nice to have. As my kids grow up, they appreciate these. So second pregnancy definitely was planned. It was definitely planned. The second pregnancy was in 2017. We fell pregnant in July. Because we just loved being parents so much. With our firstborn, we knew we wanted Ulamanisa ASAP. We knew we wanted another baby ASAP. And so we were trying. So I was breastfeeding, and with the with my first baby, with my first breastfeeding journey with Ukulumango, my periods did not come back. So breastfeeding acted as a natural contraceptive. So what I mean by that, I could not fall pregnant because obviously my periods are mangakavuyo. That meant I had to make a very difficult choice to win my baby off Ibeli or Tulumango. She was about 16 months. I mean, she was a year and a half, but she loved Booby. She loved Ibeli, even now at 5 years. That's how much she loved it. But like, cause sasifuna ukukhulelwa ngamyekisa ibele, and then the next month my period came back. The following month I was pregnant. I think it was July when we found out we were pregnant with this cam. And also we wanted a boy. So I was reading up on how to ensure that ukhulelwe umfana. I was reading up all the articles. My colleague gave me tips on how to have a boy. So as whether it was the tips and the articles, but I know it was God's doing. But we did have a son. Hit me up if you want those tips. I can share them with you. And so yeah, with usiqhamo nakhona, we found out at 2 weeks. I found out at 2 weeks. Like my body instantly tells me. So I knew something had changed. And I mean, I I wanted to be pregnant. And so I remember I bought the same kit, the El Cheapo one, and I took that test. but it was one line. It was just like, Ganjani, when I know, like I knew I was pregnant, but it was one line. And then I bought two more. I bought two more. I took the one Exen engine. I took the one Exen engine. Nakhona, no, I'm lying. So it wasn't two line, it was one line, which means then you're not pregnant. But I knew, I felt that I was pregnant, and whereas I'd been pregnant before, so I knew the feeling. And so ngathenga enye, and I took the pregnancy test exeni during a weekday, and nakhona it was one line. I'm like, ah man. Ngasengithenge out-ke manje I bought two. So the one was in my bag, went to work, and then it's eating me up now at work. I'm like, guys, I know I'm pregnant. I can feel that I'm pregnant. I don't know, body, why you're not registering. Come on, please go out. I'm still shooting, papas. Thank you. I'll call you. Go back, please. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. I'll call you now. So yeah, so the other kids I took with me. I'm talking about how I felt pregnant with you, and you're disturbing me. So the other kids I took with me to work, and I couldn't function that morning. I couldn't function because I was like, two pregnancy tests coming back negative. I know I'm pregnant. So I went to the bathroom with the last kids that I had. So I took the test again, and like it was still one line. It was still one line. I was like, oh man. And I sat there. I sat there in the toilet. Ngayithatha ikhithi, ngayigoqa ngetissue, and I throw it away in the dustbin toilet. But I just still sat there. I'm like, no man, I know I'm pregnant. I know. So ngahlala isikhashana, maybe about 5 minutes. And you know what I did? Stupid me, what I did. Do you know what I did? I dug in the dustbin and I took out the pregnancy kit again. Because ngangiza guys, yes, the tissue with the pregnancy kit. So I took it out. Hi, bo, like I kid you not, it was right up here to my eye. No, it's not here. I'm just telling the story. So mangithi ngiyabuka, hayi bo, there's a faint line. Like guys, I had to use a microscope, but it was there. I could see it. I could see it. There was a line there. I'm telling the story. It's not there now. So I was just like so over the moon when I saw that little line, and then I dashed out. A clear blue again. And then I had to wait for the next morning to take a test clear blue. And yes, it said pregnant. Because I'm not going to buy clear blue unless I get confirmation from the El Cheapo. This is you. This is you when you are in my stomach. Come on, please go back. So yeah, then I bought a clear blue, and it confirmed my pregnancy, pregnant 2+ weeks. So as I said, with first baby number 1, baby number 2, I found out like round about the same time. I was happy, I was relieved. With the gender, we found we found out at like 24 weeks at 6 months. What to say, nje udokotela ijele wabeka the thing in my bob. Because that's scanning. My husband was like, it's a boy. Like, where? How? What do you see? He's like, it's a boy. There is a doctor. You can't see. It's a boy. And the doctor's like, yep, it's a boy. And I couldn't see anything. Like, I never see anything glamour scan. The one thing that warms my heart and that I used to always look forward to when we go my appointment with the GP OB was the heartbeat. Oh man, the heartbeat. The heartbeat was just like, that's the one thing I used to look forward to. I would cry every time. Because pregnancy, as beautiful as it is, it's also a period where you're very anxious. You get very anxious, guys, especially before ingani, or even when isinyakaza. I think about where's isinyakaza, because if you go for a certain period of time, ungayizwa, uyathuka, and then you go into panic mode, but then you become anxious, and but what also happens is that you get busy during the day. You're busy with life, with work, or whatever else. So sometimes you will miss that, and then you'll think, "Oh my gosh, I haven't felt my baby kicking today." So that's one thing that we need to just be aware of, especially as you go into your second trimester. That's when you start feeling baby movements. And then third trimester, those movements are the best. The kicks, I love those because you can even see, depending on how your baby moves. Uyakwazi ukubona isandla ukuthi isandla lesi, you can see the foot. So I really enjoy that part of pregnancy. But back to my journey with my son's pregnancy. And I enjoyed it. Not too many changes. The one thing I did not like was the chicken. I didn't like chicken. So with my daughter, my firstborn, I didn't like fish. With my son, I didn't like chicken. But Nakon, the moment after Epumile, I asked for chicken. But life was normal. And then into shintshayo kumina, it's I think with every woman though, it's the breast, like the tenderness. So even as early as 2 weeks, like I can feel that my breasts are different. Something is changing. Abakuhlungunyana, ayagcwala. So with all three of my pregnancies, that was always actually with the first two. Those are always the signs. Um, so yeah, with the pregnancy as Kama, I enjoyed it. He was born at 37 weeks, but he was a scheduled C-section. And at like 36 weeks, guys, I couldn't take it anymore. I was tired. I couldn't take it anymore. So I was scheduled to go into theater at 38 weeks, which is like full term. Because Ulelo, my firstborn, was born at 38 weeks, but it wasn't a scheduled C-section. I had actually gone into labor. I was 2 centimeters dilated, then I was 4 centimeters dilated, but she was not coming out. And the doctor said, baby's in distress, so you must take it to theater. So, yeah, I will continue that story later. And then this time it was a scheduled C-section. So it was just like I had a date, guys. Mina, I love I'm a C-section. All three of my babies are C-sections. I love them at the C-sections because you have a date. Good again, this day. The doctor's like, okay, come this time, have your last meal at this time, and then you plan your last meal. Because I remember with this Kamo, my last meal was McDonald's. My husband woke up at 4 a.m. to go buy me a McDonald's because I had to be in hospital at like 7ish, 8 o'clock. And so my operation, my C-section was scheduled for like 9, 10ish, and then there are certain hours that you must not eat when you go into an operation. Like I think with any operation, actually, with any major operation. So with my son, like I had McDonald's go for McDonald's. Go 6, I put my size bedroom, I packed my bags, I was good, I was ready. Everybody knew I was going into theater. And yeah, and that was that. With my son, I gained about 13 kgs. I gained about 13 kgs because with my firstborn it was 12 kgs. With my son it was 13 kgs. Because also when I fell pregnant with my son, I was also actually in best shape. I was like 55 kgs. So with my daughter I was 53 kgs with the Kulumango. With my son I was 55 because yeah, before I fell pregnant, I had actually, with baby number two, I had actually gone back on the road. I was exercising and I was eating healthy again. So my son was born in 2018 March. And I thought, no, yeah, I know. Two babies, a boy and a girl, pigeon pair, we can take a break. Not that I was done, because like we knew we didn't want to have two kids. My husband and I wanted a big family, so we wanted 5 kids, but we had settled for 3. And so we're like, okay, we've got 2 now. Now we're just waiting for the last one, so we can take a breather, we can take a break, because a lot was happening in our lives. Like a lot was happening. We had moved to where we're staying now, and I just got in a promotion at work, which is very demanding. Like a lot was happening, and I was just like, yeah, I don't have time to be pregnant. But sister girl has never been on contraceptives, but she's out here saying she does not want to be pregnant. But I just very anti contraceptives. I've never been on contraceptives, but we are having that conversation now with my husband because we don't want baby number 4, at least not now. So yeah, we moved here 2019 October. And the first week, I think it was the excitement. I think it was the excitement of a new place. But and so the first week, actually the second night we were here, because I know exactly when my kids are conceived. I know when. I can tell you, I know when my kids are conceived. Yeah. So, but I didn't know that I was pregnant. I didn't know. I didn't know. So I was out here living my best life. I was back on the road. I was exercising. I was eating healthy. And the weight loss, dololo. I'm running 8Ks. I'm running 9Ks. Weight loss, dololo. At most, it's like 1K na corner after having done so much. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting older. I mean, no rush. Gonna take my time. So life continues. Until man, until like November, I'm like extremely tired. Like extremely tired. And I just attributed that to year-end fatigue. I ukhathala nje ngonyaka. But I was like tired. Telling my husband, he hasn't katele, I'm tired and nje, I'm irritable. Like I'm just highly irritable. He's just laughing at me. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, no, it's the pressure at work, it's the stress at work, and. But into engangenza ukuthi ngina-ke was ngangigqoke my gold figure belt. Khona i-figure belt yami gold engiyithandayo. And it's got 3 hooks. Yeah, 3 hooks. And I always use the last hook to buckle it. So wifasa sebenzisa ihook yokugcina, the smallest size. Hayi yimi lo ngqongo yami ngithi ngifake i-figure belt yami ku-hook number 3 as per usual. Hayi i-figure belt it hayi ngalo hlobo. I'm like, hayibo. But I'm exercising. What's happening? Ngize ngifake kule hook yaphathi nendawo, hook number 2. And I'm like, okay. But even nakhona hook number 2 iyangimpintsha nje. I'm tired. Nani. I'm just irritable. But I didn't pay it much attention. And I remember I had taken leave for my birthday for the 28th of November. So I had taken leave. So we were all at home, my husband and the 2 kids. And so I'm like to my husband, because he was like, no, I'm taking you out. And I was just like, Nkatela, I really don't want to go now. He's like, hi, uthatha isisu phela wena. Ngithatha isisu esiqhamukaphi makwenze njani? I was like, no, Lord, no now, no. And he just laughed and walked away. So ngaya ke but like honestly I had no suspicions whatsoever ukuthi ngigulele, none whatsoever. Had he not said that ngangizobona ingane nje isiphuma because ngangasoli lutho. Ngiye ke eClicks ngiyothenga the kit, the El Cheapo one leka yo line. Ngangaqedi I had not even like the moment I started peeing on it, like the moment the pee dropped on the stick, like 2 clearly visible lines. Like 2 clearly visible lines. I cried. No, I cried. Was a I don't know how my kids are doing this, but each child seems to be walking in as as in story sakhe, how did I find out about their pregnancy. So I cried when I found out that I was pregnant with you. It was just a shock, just again. I cried. Ngahamba the same day ngayothenga i-clear blue. Mangibuya nayo yabhala ukuthi I think it goes up to I think it goes up to 6 weeks. Angisazi yazi. But yabhala like the max that it goes up to plus. So I'm like, have I been pregnant for this long? Not knowing. Mana sisingaqedi that should be our next video, breastfeeding. So yeah, I called my husband, I showed him, and he just laughed, and I started crying again. Guys, I was like, Lord, why? There's so much happening in my life. The time I fell pregnant with her, I had gained a lot of weight. I was like 60, but I was the number that I usually am when I'm full-term pregnant. So I was like in the 60s, 65, 66. I was there, and because as I said, I was very busy at work, so I didn't have time to exercise and I didn't have time to eat clean. I was just stuffing my face with junk food. So, and I'm so I think into engikhalisa was that ukuthi hayi bo mangikhulele ngiwu-65 kg ngizoteta nginjani guys, because I know my BMI, my body mass index. I'm quite short, so I know what in terms of weight, what numbers I should be at. So yeah, I was like, okay, clearly I'm gonna be an Oompa Loompa. Let's go, let's do it. And oddly enough, because I felt pregnant with you, I was 65 kgs. Ngamteta ngiwu-70, 71. Buka lapha. Ubani lo? So I gave birth to her. So I gained about 5-6 kgs. Because I was 71 pregnant. 71 kgs pregnant. Kgs in weight. But also I just didn't care. Like the moment I found out, I was like, okay, I cried it out. And I was like, thank you, God. Thank you for this blessing. Thank you. And I was like, okay, let's go. And when I'm pregnant, I focus on this precious cargo that I'm carrying. That's my pregnancy story. That's my pregnancy journey. I'm going to have to cut it here. I must attend to her. But please do share your pregnancy journey or journeys, depending on the number of times that you've been pregnant. Were they different? How did they differ? How did your body change? What did you go through? I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, until the next video, thank you so very much for watching. Bye.